Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Welcome to Hands-on SAP Dev with me, DJ Q Macro, and more in the Back to Basics series. It's great to be back. Where are we? What's going on? It's not done one of these for a while, so I'm really excited. Thank you all very much for joining. If you're in the chat, and you can chat, say hi in the chat and tell me who you are and where you're coming from and everything. Everybody's welcome. If you haven't joined before, my name's DJ and I'm one of the developer advocates, and there's a team of us doing all sorts of crazy things. Good morning, Helmut. Good morning to Helmut in Brunswick. It was nice to see you over in Isenhagen in Hanover a couple of weeks ago, was it? At BTP Con, which was an awesome conference. So thank you to Sasha and the team for organising that. So we haven't done one of these live streams for a few weeks because of vacation and also because of travel. So like I said, a couple of must be 3 weeks ago now. Tell me how long was it? Helmut, maybe 3 weeks ago now. I was over in Germany, and then we did a code jam as well on the Friday or the Thursday. I don't know. Oh, it's all a blur. But we're back. So certainly the next 3 weeks. This week, next week, and the week after. Got live streams. Then I'm in Italy doing a code jam, so there'll be no live stream then. But anyway, I'll let you know. So it's great to be back. In fact, let me switch to the main scene, and we'll maybe find out actually when the last live stream was. A little bit of a tantalising taste of maybe some of the data we'll be looking at today. Oh, good morning, Siddhish Kumar, and good Chris Wheely in the house. Good morning, Chris Wheely, and HP Sites, and AP and Santiago. Good morning from Dusseldorf and from Madrid. Oh my good, and Mannheim. Ahoy to Mannheim as well. Moin moin to Chris. The classic German greeting. Moin moin. Does anybody remember back when wikis were very popular? I'm a big wiki fan. A great sort of great way to loosely document things in a really easy way. I had an implementation of a wiki. It was the Moin Moin wiki, because that was the name of the software, the wiki software. Gianmarco, hi. Good evening, good morning, good early morning from Peru, good evening from Peru. I'm not to Peru. Not quite sure. Love to see you again and live and ready to learn a lot from you as always. Oh yeah, Javier, good morning. Good morning, great to have you on board, Javier. So, we're all going to learn together by learning by doing. That's our motto, isn't it? Learning by doing. In fact, I was going to say, because I do have a data set with all the live streams in now. I'll be using that a little bit later. Sakib, good morning. Good morning to you and welcome. In fact, I've got it over here. Let me just open up a new thing here. Where is it called? Videos. There we go. Yeah, there we go. It's there. Okay, so I've got some data that I pulled from via the YouTube API for all the Hands-on SAP Dev live streams. Let's just slurp that in and have a quick look. What we could do is say sort by snippet published at. We want to reverse that, don't we? Because reverse. And then first there. So we can see the most recent live stream we did. It was my goodness me, 3rd of March. Extending and relating entities in SAP Cloud Application Programming Model. Amazing. Let's get rid of that. Amazing. Good morning, Niels 1000. Good morning in the house. Nico in the house, and Mark Teichman. Moin moin wiki. Moin moin wiki. Exactly. Moin moin wiki. Okay, so it's been a while. So I was talking of Nico. I was talking to Nico, and I was also talking to Tom, and we've had some really cool, interesting feedback that these Back to Basics episodes are well received, And also I think we had some specific requests during BTPCon or during the hands-on, during the, what's it called? The Code Jam, that we do more, more Linuxy things as well, more basic stuff, not just SAP specific stuff, but, how you can grapple with, the new context of the cloud as well. So Hussein in the house. Good morning, Hussein. Good morning, and wave. There we go. And also Niels, live long and prosper. I'm not sure what that thing is there. Anyway, yes, cool. That means cool, I think. So yeah, we're going to do some. We're going to sort of take our time, because I do rush things sometimes. So I'm going to, if I ever start getting fast, let me know and I'll slow down. So all we're going to do today is start playing around with adding some data to our ridiculously stupid example service integration thing. Okay, so here's what we had before. I sort of set it all up again. I found the directory that it was all in, and I've started everything up. And let's just remind ourselves. I've got my coffee. I've almost drunk half my coffee already. Hands-on SAP Dev. Oh yes. Remind ourselves of where we were. We've got here, if you saw the previous episode, we ended up, we've got our DB, our schema, and we just got this episodes entity that's supposed to represent YouTube episodes on this show. And in fact, let me just run this now. CDS watch. Remember, we also used a profile. I'll explain that again in a minute, but let me just run that CDS watch, and we'll start up. That should start up on port 4004. By the way, let me know if this is going to be useful for you to have. I've now put this, I think I've got this in a what's it called? github.com qmacro live stream. It's a private repo at the moment, but if you want me to sort of expose it and with the dev container definition and all that stuff, let me know. This is just sort of, a backup. This is my backup really. So let me know and we can sort of sort that out. By the way, yes, of course, latest SAP developer news this week brought to you by the developer advocates. There we go. Let me put that in there. There's the thing there. And also, I'll put that there just to remind me, if you go to the SAP community and go to SAP community groups, you can see in the events SAP Code Jam sort of category. What's going on here? I'm not sure what this message is. Oh, I'll ignore it. There's a new Code Jam on July the 8th. Now, those of you who've been looking at social media like Twitter and things like that may know that July the 8th sort of coincides with some other things that are going on in St. Leon Road in Germany, just down the road from Waldorf, down the road from the mothership. So basically, there is what's Volker calling it? The Hot Dev Summer. So that is a week basically of amazing stuff. So we've got a community hackathon with Microsoft and Cosmos DB, with CAP, which is really cool. I think one of our old friends is coming down from Microsoft. Then on Thursday we've got UI5Con, amazing, and then Friday we got Recap Conference as well. Oh my goodness me! And then Saturday we're doing a code jam on CAP. Okay, so some strange instructor here. I'm not sure who that is, but there we go. So if you can sort of put up with more blabber from this person, then attend the code jam. Go to here. So there's the thing there, and there's also links to all the different activities there. Let me put that in as well. Okay, so I can close that now. I won't close it. I can get rid of that now. Okay, so we've got our schema. And it's got these episodes. In fact, the data in there, I sort of took manually the data in the episodes. Let's have a look. Let's refresh that. See the episodes. We've got some random hand-picked episodes. We've got ID, which is like YouTube video ID, and we've got the title. So, okay, these are sort of 5 different episodes picked randomly by me at some point in the past, just to fill in there. And they actually, where are they? Data in the data there. they're there. Okay, so far so good. So we're going to be adding more to this, but programmatically. And we're also going to be exploring the other thing, which is the participants, right? So the participants at the moment, and this is why it was important to have this this profile sandbox, if you remember. And by the way, if there's anything you don't remember, or if there's anything you didn't see because you didn't manage to catch the previous episode, shout in the chat. We can cover it. It's no problem at all. Remember what we did. We close the DB level and look at the server. We've got this external service that we brought in, the API business partner. Okay, so we did the CDS import of the API business partner. We gave it the EDMX file, which of course is the entity data model from an OData service. And then what CAP did was sort of consume that and create a seasoned version of that, which is basically, like an internal JSON representation of that. And then what we did I think on the previous episode, we stuck a front door on that. Okay, we stuck a front door on that index.cds, the default file name that it will look for, that the CAP runtime, the CDS runtime will, the CAP runtime will look for when you're serving something up. And what we said was, well, yeah, we don't want all that nonsense from API business partner, all those millions of fields, those different properties. All we want are two properties: the business partner property, and we're going to call it ID, and the business partner full name property, and we're going to call it the name. I think we called it the name because we wanted to see a change. I think it was really called name, right? Watch me 1009. Good morning and welcome. Good morning to you. And there you can see, over here above my head, you can see the data, ID. I mean, this is sandbox data. And where is this coming from? This is coming from the API Business Hub. And if you remember here, what we did was we had a little bit of JavaScript with an event handler for the read event on the participant's entity type, entity set, whatever. And all we did was we said Bupa is the connection to the API business partner with all the details from package.json, which are down here. There we go. API CDS requires API business partner. Okay. So that's then passing the query on. And if you remember, we looked at how it uses the SAP Cloud SDK to bring in that destination information, right? And the destination information. Marcus Rest, good morning to you and everyone. Marcus Rest, welcome in the house. The destination information, the thing that one of the many things that the Cloud SDK does for CAP is make that happen, make that possible, make that connection possible. And the result of which is a call that's passed on from this event, and it gets passed on to the definition of where this remote service is. Okay, good morning DJ and everybody. Weezers, good morning. My goodness me, everybody's here today. Yes, very good, excellent. Okay, so we can see the headers that were passed and so on, right? So that's going to the remote system. Now, does anybody remember where the definition is of the remote system, where we put it? I hope you do. It's in the .env file. Now, I'm not going to click on the .env file because it also contains the API key. Because remember, when we do a call, make a call to the sandbox system, we make a call to the API hub. And in fact, let's go to the API hub now. Let's open up here, api.sap.com. Let me log in. And let's go and find API Business Partner. So it's going to be in S4HANA Cloud, APIs. And we know it's an OData v2 thing. Next, business, have we gone too far? Oh, there we go, Business Partner A2X. This is the one, okay? This is the one. And we can see, if we have a look at the configuration details, we can see it's got a sandbox URL, okay? So that's what we're using here. That's what we grabbed. And in fact, if we have a look back here again, we can see that's exactly what's going on there, okay? And the select business partner full name, they come, of course, because that's what we're asking for effectively in the index where it is there, business partner full name, and it's going to get the top 1,000. Okay, so far so good. So we've got that, and we'll have a look at the end file. In fact, let me switch to here. We've got 5 lines in the env file. Okay. Now, again, I could sort of go and switch to, I don't even know, secret mode, for example, in my live stream, like that. Okay, secret mode. Ooh, yeah, I'm working on something secret. But I think it'd be quite nice to sort of discover and work with the end file ourselves. So I'm going to try very carefully to look at the end file without revealing the API key in it. And where do we get the API key? When we go here, we can say, oh yeah, let's try out Sandbox. We can actually run the thing here. So let's collapse email address and go and find business partner. Okay, we can run it here. Okay, in the API itself. So we can make a request, run, bang. Okay, and we get some response, right? Which is really cool. We can sort of see the type of data that we can get. How did I know? How did I remember that it was an OData v2? Of course, because it's got this lovely little D property sort of protecting the results. We talked about that on a previous thing. Also, what you can do, of course, is you can say, well, I don't want to call it from the web. I want to call it from the command line or whatever. I want to use my own HTTP client to call it. And for that, you can grab your API key. Now, obviously, I'm not going to click that show API key because I'll show you the API key. Okay, and that's what we've got in the .env file, along with other things. So let's have a look at what we've got there. I'm already thinking, DJ, you've already gone off-piste. I'd meant to do something slightly different here, but we'll just have a look at the end file first. Can you tell I had too much coffee? Now, what we could do, CDS. If we say CDS env, we get all that. Okay, so CDS. We looked at this last time, didn't we? CDS env requires. CDS env get requires. Thank you very much. And we get all that stuff. Okay, but it's a ton of stuff, right? And we can already see that the env is like a constructed, beautiful structure of all the things that the runtime has to operate. Okay, but what we're interested in, and this is not everything that's in the .env file, we can enhance the environment, okay, by putting stuff in the .env file. And what we put in is some information about the API business partner endpoint, the destination, sort of to enhance what was in the package.json, to enhance what's in here, right? So we've already got a couple of things relating to this API business partner property. We've got the kind, we've got the model. Okay, so we can see somewhat, yeah, there we go, kind and model, external true as well. That's sort of like a implicit thing. So if we say CDS and get requires the API business partner, we get a nice little bit of sort of human readable JavaScripty, JSON-y type thing. Okay. In fact, it is JSON because if we say JQ and then prettify it, we can see it gets spits out in a pipeline context as JSON. However, where is the API key that I'm trying to hide from you? And also, where is the remote endpoint, the URL, the sandbox URL, the thing we saw here? Where is it? Overview. There we go. Overview. That we saw in the configuration list. Where's that? We need to specify that somewhere, don't we? Okay. And that is, we're not seeing that because we've not specified the sandbox profile. So what I'm going to do is, in fact, JQ keys. Let's just do this really carefully. Let's look at the keys, external, and then we say here, profile sandbox. We get not only the implementation, the kind, the model, we get external, and we get external impl kind and model, we get credentials. Okay, so we'll say here get credentials. Just look at the keys. We get headers and URL. So in fact, look at the URL. Credentials dot URL. and then actually the URL is what we're looking for here. There, that's where the URL is. So I know in here, credentials dot headers, just look at the keys, and there's the API key. Okay. So again, this is sort of slightly contrived. Let me know if this makes sense. Slightly contrived, but all we want to do is grab this and start to use it to make a call to the API Business Hub sandbox to start grabbing data, because what we want to do is, rather than use the remote connection, let's say we're going to develop on a plane, so we want some local data. So this is what we're going to do. So instead of having a pointer to the remote system, we want some. In fact, we do have some data, don't we? Where is it? DB, no, serve external data. There, remember all that time ago, we've got this business partner and business partner name. We've got 2 records, DJ and I think Leo Van Hengel was on when we did this, and I just picked him randomly because why not? Now, if we don't run, I'm going to use my VI mode, set OVI, of course, and then if we don't use the sandbox profile with the API key, basically with the destination information. In fact, then we get the locally mocked. Let me do that again for a second. Let me just show you something. Is this all making sense? Let me know in the chat. Is this all making sense? Let's just check what the output tells us, right? So we get blah, 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 connect, successfully, connect to API Business Partner OData v2. So it's connecting there with the API key, and notice it doesn't show us, right? Now, if we do that again, but don't use the sandbox profile, we don't bring in the stuff that's in the sandbox set of configuration, okay? So we run that now. What do we get? We get not connect to API Business Partner remote to this sandbox stuff. We get mocking. It'll mock it for us. Okay, just like normal. So if I go across to here, we get just the 2 records. The name null. Interesting. The name null. The name. Okay, let's have a look. Participants. Why is that null? Let's have a look. By the way, notice as well, we're still running exactly the same code and exactly the same CDS definitions and exactly the same show.js as well. Okay, but the remote system in this case, of course, is not the remote system, but it's the mocked system. Remember when we looked at here, cats, in my home directory, cds services.json, remember? Oh, okay, it's not going to be there now, but if we, in fact, let's open it here. We can open it here. cds services.json. There's nothing in there, but when we run this, remember? Is this like all coming back like a bad dream? That is the mocked thing, and that's now our remote system, okay? And because it's being mocked by the CAP runtime, and we haven't given it any other information, then it's going to grab the data from here. But notice that we've got, I've just realized here, business partner name, and then I think we used business partner full name, okay? So why don't we say business, well, let's change this. Should we change this? We can change either, can't we, really? Business partner name, and also let's just get rid of the part. So we've now sort of cleaned that up, and hopefully that should fix business partner name. Now let's refresh. There we go. Okay, so what we want to do really is grab, does this make sense, by the way? Let me know in the chat. You're all very quiet. Am I still online? Oh my goodness me, yes, I'm still online. Okay. So yeah, let me know in the chat if you're still around and it's making sense. What we want to do is grab some data from the command line, for example, from an HTTP client. We'll grab it from the sandbox endpoint on the SAP API Business Hub. Oh, thank you, Bruno. Oh, welcome, Bruno, and welcome. Thank you for letting you know as well. Good morning to you as well. And that's going to be in, obviously, well, by default. Well, actually, maybe not by default, but we'll ask for it in JSON. Okay. We'll grab some information anyway. It's going to be a representation, either an Atom XML representation or a JSON representation of the entity set resource for the business partners. We'll grab that and we'll somehow transmogrify that, munge that, change that into CSV, so we can actually replace this ridiculous, two record thing with that data, and then we can go off on a plane and code offline because we've got our data. Okay, so that's the aim. Okay, does that make sense? Thank you, Marcus. That makes sense to me too. Okay, so so the reason why also it's good to mess with this is then we can see that we've got an API key, because we're going to need the API key to make the call. Okay, so what I'll do is I'll do all this, and I'll say, I think what we can do is we'll say credentials, headers. Let's have a look at the let's have a look at profile sandbox JQ, and then we'll recurse through everything, pick out the objects, and look at the keys of those objects. There we go, perfect. So we got credentials, headers, right. Okay, so what we can do is we can say, hopefully, we got credentials.headers.api key with a capital K. And then I think we'll do that. We'll put equals banana. We'll just replace the API key with that. Let's have a look. Let's see what that does. Hopefully that credentials, headers, API key. Yeah. Yeah, that was exciting. I could have messed it up and you could have seen my API key. Okay, so let's stick that in, what are we going to call it? We're going to call it end.json. Okay, so we'll have end.json. There we go. Perfect. So now we can see the sort of the consolidated sandbox profile environment enhanced destination information for that remote system. We've got the URL, where to go. We've got the headers that we need to specify on any particular request. So now we can start thinking about calling. Let's move that up a bit. We can start thinking about making a call from here to the remote service. Shall we do that? So we've done this before, but let's just feel our way. Let's have no, we won't have a verbose because we'll see the API key header. So we'll say here headers API key. What we could export. There we go. We'll do this. Export. Export. No, what we'll do is say. Oh, I tell you what we'll do. We'll say CDS env get requires.api business partner dot what is it called? Credentials headers dot. Let's just try on something else instead. URL. First of all, profile sandbox. Is this making sense, by the way? Profile sandbox, and I'll say that. There we go. And then we can say here, for example, cut C1 to 10. Let's just get the first 10. Okay, so now we can say headers.api key. So we'll only see the first. There we go. That's the API key. So I'm going to say export API key equals the result of calling that, but not cutting it, obviously. There. And now we can say echo API key cut characters 1 to 10. Okay, so we've now got the API key in an environment variable. Okay, that's cool. So now curl headers API key. We want, no, let's do it first. We want the URL. Let's just go up here actually. There, business partner. Love that. Thank you very much. There, and we want a business partner, don't we? We want that. What else do we need? Well, let's just try that, shall we? Let's just go there and try that. Oh, header. Oh, header. Okay, what's going on? Oh, fault string, body buffer overflow. Oh, protocol too big. Oh, amazing. Too big body. Too big body? What even is that? So let's just see. We've got that here. Let's just try it on the. I think I know what's happening. There we go. We can see that. Where is it? Where did I just see it? Keep alive, connection, content type, options, access to content type, HTML. Oh, wait a minute. We want the location, follow location. Why is that? API key. I think I know why it is, because it's coming in a compressed format. There we go. So now that yes, Santiago, the profiles are really awesome, aren't they? Yes, they are indeed. So that we get XML there, But what we want is JSON. So we'll say header accept application JSON. Let's have that instead, right? Are we ready? There we go. So, there we go. Let's just pipe it into IJQ, or just prettify it for now. We can see that that is the service document. Okay, gives us all the entity sets. But what we really want is a business partner entity set. Okay, so we're requesting an entity set. Let's put it into data.json for now. Ooh, there we go. IJQ, in fact, I've got this new thing called ZIJQ. I'll tell you about that later. Data.json. Ooh, too big. So maybe we need to put a, that's amazing. Let's $top equals 100. Let's do that. Oh, sorry, what we're doing now? Oh yeah, of course. This is where we learn together. What have I forgotten? Introduce a query string, right? $top is a query parameter, a system option. There we go. Okay, so now hopefully, there we go. Perfect. We've got some data. So how do we turn this data into data that we can use in here to replace this? And that's what I've been hacking around. In fact, it was Nico that inspired me to hack around and produce something that will do that. Okay, so I wanted to show you the sort of the background first. And I want you to tell me, when you start seeing this, I want you to tell me whether this is completely useless and a stupid thing to do, or whether it might be useful for you. And then we can maybe share and work on the code together. Bear in mind that during BTPCon, Gregor Wolf, the inimitable Gregor Wolf, did show an undocumented way of bringing data in to an entity via JSON. But we'll deal with that another time because it's not documented. I had to talk to somebody internal to say, what is going on here? Gregor, is it this and what's that? So we'll do that another time. But what I've got here, to save us a bit of time, what time is it? 8:34 already? 8:34. What I've got is a couple of things. So if I bring in actually copy work scratch sandbox-csv into here, let's have a look at them. I've got a little script, and that script, what that will do well, let's run it first. Let's run it and we can see maybe visually what that will do. If I run sandbox-csv, in fact, if I say, where was it? Yeah, if I say unset API key, let's get rid of it, and I say run sandbox-csv, it'll say you need to specify API key. So let's export that again. And now now it's got the API key, and what it will do is it will go to the service document of this OData service and grab that data that we saw. We did see that, didn't we? We saw the service. In fact, let's bring that up again. No, let's close that there. Service document. Which one was that one? That was that one. That one. Let's just put that into ZIJ. That's the service document. Okay. And the service document in an OData service, you can ask for it in JSON format. If you remember, the service document, I wonder if you can get the service document in the API hub. I'm not sure. Search for anything. Well, tell you what. Let's get rid of this thing here, except let's put that as an X, just to sort of invalidate that header. Let's see what we get. Yeah, okay, what we get is not JSON. Reset. So let's not put it into there. Let's just put it to the terminal. We get the service document in XML format, okay, which we normally, see and understand, okay. But the service document you can also grab in JSON format by asking for it in JSON format. So where was it there? Except let's just change that back to an A. And that's the service document. And you can see here that it's just a list of entity sets, which is exactly really cool and useful for us. So if we now run this sandbox-csv, what will happen first is it will go to the API business partner OData service, ask for the service document, give us a choice of entity. I never know whether this, these are entity sets, right? But, let's say entity types. Give us a choice of that. And then it will go and get that information via the curl type command, getting the JSON, and then it will run a little bit of JQ to convert it to, to CSV. So let's try that. We can also, in fact, if I show you sandbox CSV, you can also declare a limit. It's a really simple script. There we go. There. Hello, Raphael, and welcome. That's it. That's all the script is. Is there an XML equivalent for JQ? That's a good question, Marcus. I don't know. I don't think there's an XML equivalent for YAML. Sorry, there's a JQ equivalent for YAML. There's also a JQ equivalent for binary data called FQ, is it? Matthias Wadman. Brain's not working. Matthias Wadman did built a really cool JQ for binary data. Is it RQ? Is it? Anyway, look up Matthias Wadman. I'm not sure about. Also, Matthias wrote an implementation of JQ in JQ. What? But I'm not sure there is. No, I don't know. Good question. But everything's JSON these days, right? Especially OData v4. That they have their the representations of the resources in an OData v4 service by default are JSON rather than XML. So we're moving away from XML a little bit. Is it okay to say that? I'm not sure. Anyway, let me just show you this because it's really simple. I've got this little main thing here. That's it. It's just that. That's it. That's all it is. Okay. FQ. Thank you, Niels. FQ. Why did I think it was? I don't know what it was. Yeah. Thank you, Niels. So we can just have a limit, and that will be passed on directly to the $top, for example, right here. So limit query limit there. See, if there's a limit, it'll be used like that. Okay, fine. So let's do that again. Sandbox CSV, and if I can say limit equals 5, it'll still ask us for, let's pick email address, for example. There we go. And it will give us data from the, what was it called again? The A_address email address, which is a address. Oh, there we go. A address email address, the first one. Run. Let's run that. Let's move that up there. There we go. So these are all the different things here. What it will do explicitly is delete or not include in the conversion from JSON to CSV any of these sort of objects here. We don't want the metadata. And if there are any navigation properties, then the JSON representation of a navigation property that's not being followed is also an object, with the pointer. Okay. Okay, Marcus says, oh, the mentioned YQ says it can handle XML as well. Amazing, amazing. So yeah, I think the question is great because I think it's really important for us to be able to sort of manipulate data on the command line or in a script or whatever, because the more of this stuff we do, the more data is going to be washing over us. So we need to sort of be able to embrace it and be in charge of it. Okay. So email. So why do we do this now? Business partner. We get 5 there. Okay. So let's do that, and then let's look. We can also specify here a business partner. We can specify it on the command line. Then it won't give us the choice. It'll just do it. Okay. What it also does is stick a first record on. God, it's huge, isn't it? There's the first record. Okay, which is just a list of all the properties. Of course, because when we load it, we need as the first record the business partner, the field names. Okay, and that comes from this sandbox-csv file, and then a little tiny bit of JQ that will go through the results, select everything where the value of the things is not an object, and then it will create a record with all the keys, as in the names of the properties, and then it will create records of all the individual values. Okay, and that's it, and then create CSV. That's it. That's the power of JQ. So now, if we run that and let's put it into DB data into that. No, not into that. Not into that. Where do we want it? We want it into DB external. Sorry, serve external data. There, we want it into there, don't you? Because that's it. Serve external data API business partner. Let's see what happens. Ooh, 5. There it is. Look, there it is. So, question from Javier. Is possible to deploy a CDS schema into a SQLite database in a SAP BTP Cloud Foundry subaccount space? I know that it's possible with SAP BTP schema. I'm wondering if it's possible with Cloud Foundry. Let me read that question again. Is it possible to deploy a CDS schema into a SQLite database in a SAP BTP? Yes. There's no reason why not. I'm sure in the past I've used SQLite in a Cloud Foundry context. There's no reason I can think of that would prevent you from doing that. Obviously, well, I was going to say obviously, not for production purposes, but SQLite is pretty solid. I mean, it's not normally used for production on SAP BTP, but yeah, why not? So yes, I don't see any reason why you can't deploy a SQLite powered thing on Cloud Foundry at all. Anybody else got any comments there or any opinions? So now, okay, by the way, now, is this going to work? Let's see what happens. Let's refresh. It works. It works. So we've got now a way of grabbing data from the remote service that we were previously connecting to. Yeah, not for production. Cool. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. So Nico, yes. So that's what I was sort of thinking. What Nico says. So Javier is agreeing. Yeah, not for production. Fine. So the only officially supported production database is HANA. Is CAP. Yeah, CAP. CAP is everything. CAP is the database. CAP is the service. CAP is the schema. CAP is the app. Yes, I think it is. That being said, of course, there is community-based, open source support for PostgreSQL. And of course, one of the things that we talked about right at the top of this episode, at the start of this episode, was a hackathon on Cosmos DB, which is I'm not too familiar with what Cosmos DB is. I think Holger Bruschelt, who is going to be one of the Microsoft folks who's coming down to the hackathon, he can tell us more about that then. But yeah, that is also, I think is it a NoSQL thing? Is it like a document database type thing? I don't know anything. So there is there's sort of technical possibilities to use other persistence layers, but from a production perspective on SAP BTP, HANA is the only officially supported persistence system. So we've got that. So let's do that again. Let's just limit to 100. There we go. Do that. Limit 100, and let's refresh that. Oh, no service. What's going on? Entity already exists. What? Oh. Look at that. In fact, let me do that. I've spotted an error. If we do that, we just bring 5 in again. Just bring 5. Yeah, like MongoDB, exactly. Yeah. Mongo, yes, Santiago. I think you're absolutely right. It is like a MongoDB type thing, isn't it? So I was so excited that it actually not exploded. I didn't recognize that actually it's not quite right, is it? The ID is supposed to be some sort of number, and we get the name Bestela Agi Creek Street. Yeah, this data is a bit rubbish, but anyway, it's data. And the name's empty. And I've just noticed, look at this, academic title, additional last name, authorization group, birth date, business. These seem to be in alphabetical order. Now, I think I know what's going on here. If we have a look here, data.json. Let's load that. Yes, let's load that. By the way, I'm using LF as my file manager, and I've got some sort of custom commands. I can say capital J for J. I can do all sorts of JSON-y things. I can slurp and view multiple JSON files with interactive JQ. Now, if we just open that with interactive JQ, that'll do for now. Yeah, that's fine. Now, let me just bring up. Okay, we've already got that there. Let me just bring up the sandbox JQ. There, that thing, that on line 9, first.keys. Let's do that. Okay, let's do that down here. So we'll say .d.results, and then pipe that into. Well, we can probably miss out that map with entries first, because you don't need that for this illustration. But we can probably say, well, I'll tell you what, no, there we go. First, d.results, and that is an array, so we can say first, there we go, dot keys, pipe into keys. Look what's happening. We get keys in order. I know now there is a keys unsorted, okay, so it won't give you that, so keys unsorted is what we really want, isn't it? Okay, so let's fix that. Let's go out there, let's fix that. Okay, good. Now, have I still got no, I haven't. Okay, so export, god, drat. So export API key equals CDS and get requires .api business partner dot headers .api key profile sandbox API key. There we go. Yeah, okay, good. Right, now I can run it. So we say limits equals 5 sandbox CSV. A is business partner. Okay, that's fine. Oh, there we go. Yes, that's fine, because now we get the sort of the field name record, the first one, not in alphabetical order, which is what we want. Now, so because before these aren't matching up. Look, ID is 11 and 202 and 203 and 108 and 18, but we got academic title there. So the ID is somewhere down here. So let's put that into, where is it again? Serve external data there. Now we're talking business partner, because remember, business partner is what we want, business partner. So we can now refresh that. There we go. That's better. That's better. So we've got that. Okay. So what we also want, just in the last 9 minutes, where's the time gone? I had a million things to show, but I've not managed to do anything. What is wrong with me? But what we'll do as well is I've got here somewhere, that's where it was, wasn't it? Yeah, there we go. That here is a list of the live stream episodes, and this, I want to work on this with you to sort of maybe start giving it a bit of ontology, a bit of sort of categorization, so we can say look for back to basics, or look for stuff on CAP or on OAuth or OData. So it'll help us find a sort of, find our way through the back catalogue of Hands-on SAP Dev videos. And I do this with this little refresh main playlist thing here. There's all sorts of things going on here. But basically it results in slurp that in there, an array of video, in fact, how much length. And this is how I knew that up until now, not including this one, there are 146 episodes. We've done 146 episodes. And what we can say is, in fact, I did it already. It's here. We've got that. So why don't we stick that there? Now, in fact, let's start again. Let's go into here and then say JS. Let's do that again. And output that to the command line. Now, what we really want here is to run that. We want the raw output, and we want to slurp it in, and then that thing there. Now that I've been working on something last night to be able to grab the successful JQ expression from IJQ into my buffer, into my tmux buffer, so I can spit it out like this. Let's just put that at the top of the screen. We can do that. We need to specify the file, don't we? Where is it? Videos.json. So let's put that in work live stream hands-on SAP Dev DB data hands-on SAP episode. We'll fill that up with that there. So now, insert, what's going on? So, see, this is nice because we can see the constraints we have when we're loading CSV-based data. Nico, how will we celebrate episode 150? I'm glad somebody asked that, because I think we should celebrate episode 150, shouldn't we? So it's 147, 8, 9. So yeah, episode 150 is going to be after the SAP Code Jam in Brescia in Italy. So it's going to be sort of early June. Don't know. Put in the comments what you think we should do to celebrate it. So we get an error, SQLite error, insert into blah, 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 blah. It says here, where does it say? I saw it just then. Table Hands-on SAP Dev episodes has no column named when in this. Okay, with a virtual coffee and hacks games. I think that's a pretty good suggestion, Javier. Yes, because in here, where is it? DB, in the schema, we've only got key ID, and let's add, rather than remove it, actually, hold on, let's do that again. What we can say is, let's try and, yeah, let's get rid of the when. We don't want the published at. There we go, that'll do. Now, hopefully, where's the data? Data, ooh, what's going on there? That's interesting. Some sort of colorification thing. So that works. So do we understand why we got that error? Because we're importing a CSV file, and the CSV file has a field, a column, that doesn't appear in the target entity in this namespace. Okay, so we got that. If we go back here, look at the episodes, we've now got all the episodes. But I think that when thing was quite cool. Okay, so let's add that when back. Beer in the morning, great. Yes. So Santiago says +1 to Javier, and Helmut says beer in the morning, great. I'm not sure whether that's sort of tongue-in-cheek, great, or what, Helmut. I'm not sure about beer in the morning. Marcus says celebrate by bringing back the ABAP Cloud developer stickers. What ABAP Cloud developer stickers? Let me and Nico speak to our colleagues, like Tom and Mamiki and Rich. Maybe they've got some somewhere. I don't know. Visas. Good emoji game there. Visas, excellent. So let's put that when back in. We put that when back in, but now we need, of course, to index to add it. So when. Oh, wait a minute. No, it's not there, is it? Sorry. It's not in index. What an idiot. It's in schema. There. When. And what type is it? Date, time, is it? Because it's got the Z's and everything, hasn't it? Yes, there we go. That is a date time. Beautiful. So we can define that as a date time. Let's have also a bit of an annotation as well, because why not? Broadcast date time. Date and time. And time. That'll do. Okay, fine. So this is when is a reserved word? Oh, what an idiot. Okay, so TJ, a broadcast. Let's just change that. Okay, and go back here and call it broadcast. Broadcast date and time. Perfect. So now 8:58. Let's run that. There we go. There we go. So now, actually, what we can maybe try is we'll have the order by broadcast expand part. No, sorry, order by broadcast. Order by broadcast. There we go. Oh, also, is that the, I can't remember the thing. No, how do we do it? I can't remember. In OData broadcast, descending. That can't be right, can it? Yes, it is right. Oh yeah, of course. You need to sort of URL encode it. There we go. We got data. We got SAP BTP EAB. Someone is going to be on World of Office between Able with EAB. Oh, is that the Enterprise Architect? I don't know what the EAB is. Anyway, we got some data. So let me know if the grabbing data from the sandbox endpoints on the SAP API Business Hub with your API key, of course, grabbing the JSON, converting it into CSV, and loading CSV files into CAP, if that's a useful thing. All this does at the moment, let's go back here. All this does at the moment, we don't need that actually, is it's currently hard coded to that one, okay? But we could sort of do it a little bit more dynamically. The other thing, oh yes, the other thing. This reminds me. Participants _ ID. Now I remember right at the very end of the last episode, the previous episode, Nico said, oh yeah, let's have a look at the participants ID. This comes from our mashup, where we added a participants managed association. But can anybody see what's wrong with that? I haven't completely done it properly, because we want to be able to have a link between episodes and participants. So for example, I'm going to pick on the last person who said anything. Chris has attended multiple episodes, and any given episode has multiple participants. So we need something more than a simple managed one-way association. So participants ID, how can there be just one ID for the participants? So that's not quite right. So next week, what we'll do is we'll dive into understanding associations. One-to-many, many-to-many, what you have to do for building those associations, and specifically managed associations. So is that okay? I hope that was useful. Let me know in the chat. So yeah, that's it. That's Friday, and I have no idea how to end it. My brain's not working. So goodbye. Thank you everybody for joining, and I'll see you this time next week. Oh, same time next week, and we'll look at associations, and we'll start building out a proper many-to-many association. Maybe we'll step back and do a simple bookshop type thing so we can really properly understand it. Okay, bye for now. Thanks very much.